Hey guys, today I want to show you how to do a makeup look on if you're going to go out to a Christmas party or maybe to a New Year's Eve party. This is going to be a very detailed makeup tutorial. I'm not speeding it up. I want you to see every detail. So here I'm going into my brow and I'm filling in my brow with the Kiss eyebrow pencil in dark brown, and I'm brushing the color into my natural eyebrow hairs. Next, I am using the MAC Cream Concealer in NW42, and I am outlining the shape of my eyebrow because I want my eyebrow to pop and I want it to look very sharp. So you take your time and you outline that eyebrow and you want to pull the color down. So I'm pulling the color down with the brush because I don't want to keep swiping because I might get it into the actual color on my eyebrow. So take your time with this part, ladies. You want to be as detailed as possible because you want that brow to look very sharp because the eyebrow is going to be the frame of the face, okay? So take your time with this part, and you can get a little wild when you get closer to your eye, but when you're close to the eyebrow, take your time. So now I'm using my finger because my finger is nice and warm, and it helps to warm up that concealer so that it can easily blend out. So I like to use my finger as a blending tool because it blends much better because my finger is warm. So here I am just blending it out. So I decided to get a brush to kind of blend it out a little bit more to make it nice and even. Now I'm just using some translucent powder to give me, to set that. Okay, so now I'm going in with a soft matte pink. And I'm going to use that in my crease area, the upper crease. Now I don't have it may look like I do, but I don't have a lot of lid space. So this look is going to make my eye look bigger. So I'm trying to give the illusion of a bigger eye. So I am using this matte pink in my crease and I'm going to blend that out. And the trick to blending that out, ladies, is don't use a lot of color. I mean, just use a little bit at a time and don't use your brush too heavily. You know, try to be as gentle and light-handed with your brush as possible, okay? So here I'm just adding more color to deepen it a little bit because I like it to be a gradient effect, okay? So even though I'm using the same color, I'm just adding a little more as I go. So now I'm going to go into a darker matte, more like a brown. It's kind of like a brownish color. So I'm going to use that and I'm going over the lower part of my eyeshadow. And I'm also doing the same thing with a very light hand. I'm blending it into the lower part of that eyeshadow. Okay, because I want it to fade together. I want it to blend. So the circular motions that I'm using is to help it blend together. Take your time with the blending, ladies. It takes a little time. And it always looks messy. That's one thing that I like to make sure that I stress. Yes, it's going to look a little messy, but it's going to get better. I'm telling you. Okay, so now I'm going in with a darker brown, just to give it more depth in that outer corner, the outer V as we call it, because it's going to look as a V shape. And that's what I always keep in mind. I keep that V shape in mind as I'm blending. So I'm just taking that same brush and I'm light with a very light hand, adding that dark color. Now I'm going to go into my lid area. I'm going to make my lid look bigger. This is what they call cut crease. So I'm trying to make my eyelid look bigger by over exaggerating my eyelid, and I'm using the NYX eyelid base. So I'm just making my eyelid look bigger. You can see what my natural crease is. So I'm going above my natural crease because I want my eye to look bigger. So that's the purpose of doing a cut crease for me. See that? It's making my eyelid space. I'm giving myself more eyelid space. Now I do have hooded eyelids. A lot of people don't know that, but my eyelids are hooded. It's very fat above my eyelid, and the fat hangs over my eyelid. But I can camouflage it very well with doing this cut crease technique. So see, it looks like I have more eyelid space. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and I'm adding some glitter this glittery pink. So I tried it before and it didn't come out the way I wanted. So I just dampened my brush with a little rose water so that I can make sure I get the pigment I want there, because I want it to be shiny. And as I'm putting that there, as you can see, I am patting it. I'm not swiping, I'm patting the color over top of that base in patting motions. And I'm using a very small brush. That's another trick, ladies. To have more control, use a small brush, okay? Because if you use a big brush, you're gonna get stuff everywhere. But when you get in those small areas of your eye, please use a small brush. So now I'm just going back in and just adding a little more of that deeper color. It's more like a purple. I'm adding a little bit more of that deeper purple there, just to blend it into that shiny pink. Because I want to eliminate the line. I don't want this to look like a quote unquote cut crease. So I'm trying to blend the line out. I just want my eyelid to look bigger. So now I'm going in and I'm going to highlight my brow bone. And I'm just using this it's more like a cream color. And I don't always do this as far as this detailed with the eyeshadow, but this is for a special occasion, guys. This is for if you're going to a Christmas party, or if you're going to a New Year's Eve party and you want your makeup to really stand out. This is a great look. So now I'm going in with the L'Oreal liquid eyeliner. This is one of my favorites. It's a drugstore brand, but I love L'Oreal's eyeliners and eye pencils and eyeliner pencils. They're like the best yet. So I'm going in and I'm just outlining my eyelid, and I'm exaggerating that wing a little bit, because once again, this is a dramatic look for if you're going to be at a Christmas party and you want to stand out, especially, you know, if it's going to be at night. You want your eyes to just pop. So the eyeliner is like an outline to the eye, and I'm making a winged outline on my eye, a wing liner on my eye here. And yes, I do have hooded lids, guys. I do. And that's why you can see when I lift up my head, you'll see how there's an indentation there. But you won't be able to tell that once I add my lashes and stuff. So that's why I said makeup is a process. It doesn't always look perfect. It won't always look the best while you're in the process of it. But the outcome, if you be patient and keep working at it, it's going to all come together. So here I'm adding the mascara, prepping my eyelashes for the fake lashes. And I like to add mascara before I put on my lashes, because it kind of helps the lash to grip with the false lashes. So now I'm going in with Becca. This is my favorite foundation at this time. It's discontinued, unfortunately. So I found a seller on eBay, and I bought every bottle that seller had. So I'm kind of stocked on my Becca for a while. So I bought the entire case of what that seller had left. So you'll be seeing Becca for quite some time. I have a whole case of Becca. And this is in the color Coconut. And this is their 24-hour full coverage foundation. Okay, so now that I've blended it out, I'm using a beauty blender, and I am bouncing the beauty blender on my skin, because I want my foundation to be full coverage. Okay, so now I'm going in with some lashes. These are some lashes from my website. These are Lashes 104. And what I've been doing lately is I haven't been putting the lash all the way into the inner corner of my eye, because it can get a little irritating. So I don't put my lashes all the way to the inner corner. And I'm going to close that gap anyway with some liquid eyeliner. So here I'm just adding a little glue to my lash line, and I'm adding the other lash. And another thing I've been doing lately too is I've been taking the glue and I've been just lining the glue across my lash line on my eye, and then just putting the lash on there. And that's been working out a lot better than just putting the glue on the actual lash itself. And you have a little more control that way as well. So I'm just pushing the inner part of the eyelash in because that's just always a problem area for me with lashes. So now I'm going to go in with the liquid eyeliner and I'm going to trace over my lash line because I want to conceal the band of the lash. So I'm going to do that on both sides. And the purpose of this is to not only conceal the band, but also to close any gaps in between the eyelid and the eyelash. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Estee Lauder's concealer. This is their double wear concealer in the color medium deep. And I don't use this concealer a lot because it's kind of light. But once again, this is for a more glam look. This is for a holiday party. This is for, you know, a Christmas party, a New Year's Eve party. So this is a more glam look. So I'm going to be using more product. So now I'm going in with a flat concealer brush. And I'm just getting into those corners that I couldn't get using a beauty blender. Because if you use the beauty blender at this point, it's just going to smear all of the concealer all over the place, and I don't want that to happen. So now I'm going over it with the beauty blender now that I have the concealer where I want it. And I'm just bouncing the beauty blender on my skin because I don't want to soak up all of the product. So my beauty blender is a little damp, but it's not wet. Okay? And the beauty blender helps to make it look more seamless as far as the colors, because I'm using a lighter concealer and my foundation is darker than the concealer. So I want it to look blended and I want it to all melt together. So now I'm going in with my concealer brush in those little tight spaces by my eye because I don't want to mess up my eyeshadow. I did all that work, so I don't want to mess it up. So I'm just taking my flat concealer brush and I'm just doing a little detail work. Okay, because makeup is like art, so you got to keep that in mind. It's like art. So now I'm just blending out the edges with the beauty blender. Now I have problems with my under eye because I'm getting older and my under eye is starting to, I think it's starting to sink in. So I'm trying to figure out ways to conceal it. So I'm going back in with a little bit more concealer because I can still see that line there. So I'm trying to avoid using Juvederm or Botox or whatever it is that people use when they start getting those issues as they age. So I'm trying to figure out how to camouflage it with makeup right now. So now I'm just going in with some translucent powder by Laura Mercier. This is their translucent powder in the color medium deep. And this helps to set my foundation. Now I'm going in with Juvia's Place loose powder in Gambia. And this is where I'm going to set the highlighted areas of my under eye. Now I know I'm using a lot of powder, and the reason why I'm using a lot of powder is because this makeup needs to last us all night. This makeup needs to look flawless, and the way that your makeup looks flawless, guys, is you have to set it. That's something I learned over the years in doing makeup, and I used to always skip these steps, and I never used to use a lot of powder. Big mistake when it comes to having your makeup last. So I went in with a little more setting powder. Now I'm going in with my favorite eyeliner, and this is the L'Oreal Extra Intense in black. And now I'm doing some detailed eye work with a very small, thin, angled eyeliner brush, and I'm using it for my eyeshadow. So I'm just going underneath my eye in the waterline, under the waterline actually, and I'm using the same colors I have on my lid. So I'm using that shiny pink, and then I'm going to use some of that dark purple because we want the eye to be set around those colors. And always use small brushes, guys, because you have more control. Now I'm just blending out the powder. I know it looks like a lot of makeup because it is, but this makeup will last all day. Not only will it last all day, I won't have to touch up my face at all. I'm telling you, I've done this many times. Now I'm going in with Turn Up the Base by Patrick Starrr One Size. This is my favorite powder to use as a bronzer, and this is in the color, I think it is color dark 4, I think that is. I love this as my contour slash brown bronzer to add that color and add that warmth back in my face, because you don't want your face to look flat. And if you don't add the warmth back in your face after using all those light powders, you're going to look very flat. So now I'm going in with that same Patrick Star powder, and I'm just going to contour my nose, just so I can give my nose a little more definition, because my nose has a lot of that powder on it. So I don't want my nose to look flat. So I want to bring some definition back to my nose. So that's what I'm doing. Not trying to make my nose look smaller, just trying to make my nose look more defined. And the thing that I've learned about contouring my nose, which I really like the way it looks when I contour my nose, especially like in photos, is because my nose is like pudgy. I got a pudge nose, but I like my pudge nose. So it just defines it more. Makes my nose, I don't know, it looks longer, and it looks more, even more pudgy, I guess. But the thing I've learned to blend it out with your fingers at the end when you're done with all of your powder. So I'm going back in with a little lighter powder on the sides of my nose to blend out some of that darker powder. And I'm using my fingers to blend those two together, because I don't want any harsh lines at all. And you guys can skip this part if you don't need to contour your nose, but I like the way it looks in photos. And always push the powder into your skin. That's another trick that I've learned too over the years of doing makeup. Is for me, I need to push the powder into my skin, because I do have pores and I want my skin to look flawless. And the way that I can do that is I take the powder and I push it into my skin. So I just use a little rose water to settle all those powders, because you don't want to look cakey and you don't want to walk around looking like a ghost. So you need to, after you do all your powder work, you need to make sure that you use some type of setting spray, rose water, or some type of setting spray to blend all those powders together, so it won't just be sitting on top of your face like that. So now I'm going in with some Juvia's Place products. I've used the Juvia's Place lip liner, and the lip liner I believe is in the color Brownie, and the lipstick is in the color Me. Now I'm going in with the Artistry lip gloss. This is the online company, and I'm using their lip gloss in Misty Mauve. And yes, this is the final look. And my hair is not done, it was just up on it. So I just wanted to show you guys how you could, a holiday makeup look. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned some tricks. I hope I was helpful, and happy holiday.